Tonight's podcast is brought to you by Mankind's Mattress Emporium.
Come on down to Mankind's Mattress Emporium, where we got the best damn mattresses to rest your head after getting your ear ripped off. If you're like me and you went from WWF superstar to mattress salesman, you need a nice place to sleep and berate God for cursing you with the pain, ugliness, and hopelessness that lives in us all.
Stone Cold Steve Austin here. Get your ass down here to Mankind's Mattress Emporium and sleep on a hell of a bed. It's the same bed I slept in after I stomped a mud hole into Vince McMahon's ass with some bitch. Grab a beer, don't mind the socks, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
Here at Mankind's Mattress Emporium, we drop the flying elbow on our competition's prices, and you'll always have a nice day.
Welcome back once again to another saddening week of the Good Old Gamers podcast. I'm Lyle McClendon. I'm joined as always with Brandon fuck. I can't even talk. I'm joined.
Go fuck yourself.
It has begun. Got a lot on my mind this week, Brandon. Sorry. I'm here with Brandon Gentry.
Again, go fuck yourself.
Thank you. And Chasen Chandler is joining us once again tonight.
Surprise, motherfuckers. Locked you up your wives. The cuckolding master is back.
The cuckoldocalypse is upon us.
Are you the gatekeeper? I'm the goddamn cuckold master. Oh, it is July 22nd. It is the 22nd, right?
It's around there.
Yeah.
21st, I think.
It may be the 21st.
It is July.
It's the 21st.
It is July 21st. Wow, I hadn't even drank any. I've drank one beer. That's
for shame,
bad.
for shame. Speaking of, that one's looked awfully tempting. Might
hand thou.
Tonight's podcast is brought to you by Ecto Cooler.
Yes, we've been drinking Ecto Cooler, and I will slight spoiler alert. Probably the only good thing I'm going to say about Ghostbusters for a little while.
That's true. I do appreciate that the Ecto Cooler's back, but that's all.
I like the Twinkies as well, even though they're supposed to be key lime. Tastes like Twinkies.
There's Ghostbuster Twinkies?
There's green ones, and then there's marshmallow ones with Stay Puffed.
The outside coating is just like white frosting, like a hard frosting, like those zingers, is it what they're called? But it's just like marshmallow inside. But the regular looking Twinkies have the ones that are Slimer edition, because they're Stay Puffed, of course. It's just like a slight, barely faint flavor of key lime pie.
I detected straight Twinkie.
Yeah, I had to really mull it over and think that key lime pie. I'm pretty sure I tricked my mind. Yeah, it's just Twinkie.
Yeah, it could
just
be
green
placebo.
Twinkie. Yeah, placebo
Flavored Twinkie.
Yeah, they should have stepped up that flavor.
New for 2016, placebo edition. Well, we're back. It's episode 65 or 66. I might as well just fuck that up while I've got everything else wrong.
Yeah, 65.
Well, let's kick off with some news.
Oh, yeah, I got the thing,
We're going to try to be quick and poignant with you this evening.
Yep, we're
running way behind.
Yeah, very late. I should be publishing about now.
You probably already know this, but Nintendo, is having a field day right now with Pokemon Go and all that such.
Oh, yeah.
And I have...
I wish I had a field day with their stocks.
Oh, no shit.
Oh,
no kidding.
9 billion in the first 48 hours.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Holy fuck.
But hot on the heels of that, they've pulled another card and announced that they will release a mini plug-and-play NES, essentially.
It looks sweet.
Preloaded with 30 games. It
not
looks
nearly
just like a
as
toaster NES, but tiny.
Not nearly as psyched as a lot of people, just because it's basically an NES flashback, which is awesome.
Already have all the games that are on it.
It is good. It's great, but I think a lot of people when they first saw it thought it's going to be a new NES, and it's not.
No, yeah.
You're not going to be able to put your carts in there and play or anything. It fits in the palm of your hand. And so, I also saw speculation on this affecting. We're getting interference. We got phones on the table.
I have a phone on the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saw a lot of speculation about it might be affecting collection values and stuff, and it's not. The only thing price wise this will affect is there's going to be almost zero market for the Pintendos now.
Yep. It comes preloaded with 30 games, and it's a pretty impressive library.
Yeah, I wrote them all down. I can run through them real quick.
Okay.
Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania 1 and 2, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Final Fantasy, Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mario Brothers, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pacman, Punch-Out, Mr. Dream version, which Mike Tyson's way better.
The only opponent he could never defeat was the letter S.
Yep.
A Nintendo game starring a convicted rapist.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Star Tropics.
With a tattoo on his face.
Yeah.
that didn't exist back then.
That is true.
True.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's pre-ear biting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super C, Super Mario Brothers 1 through 3, Tecmo Bowl, Zelda 1 and 2.
Can I defend it for a couple things?
Yeah.
There's some naysayers that were like, "Oh, it doesn't have an SD card slot."
Yeah.
No flashback card.
Do you
system
think
does.
of all companies, though, like
Especially
Nintendo is
Nintendo.
going to be the one to put that shit on there?
But not even Atari or the Intellivision or the Coleco.
I have the Coleco and the Intellivision and the Atari one, and they're plug and play.
No plug and
Simple.
play has the SD thing. So
No.
can we get off Nintendo about that? And another thing I'm going to defend it on. They're like, oh, they put Super C on there, but not Contra, and they put Double Dragon 2 on there, but not Double Dragon. Look, I know those are legendary games, and they're good, but they're better.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck it.
I agree.
You know what? Double Dragon 2 The Revenge is better than Double Dragon. And Super C actually is better than Contra, and if you don't agree, I get that, but it's at least better than
It's a little more
arcade
playable.
port.
It's a little more playable than Contra, per se.
Yeah.
It's still difficult and hard, but that's a game
It's
I
not
think.
as hard, I don't think.
No.
I had an easier time beating Super C.
I think people that, the kind of people that's going to be buying this that aren't super accustomed to playing games now, that'd be a little easier stepping stone than Contra.
And that's who
'cause-
this is aimed at.
Exactly.
But I prefer the sequels, so I was happy about that. I don't think it's when you put the sequels on there as opposed to the more famous originals that it's bad. I think it's fine. So yeah, Nintendo didn't do anything wrong. And then some other people are like, "Oh, well, it doesn't have internet support." Fucking why? Neither does any of the Atari flashbacks
NES have internet support? Is it supposed to have internet support? No.
I was like, it's a plug and play.
If you want to fucking do that, they make a thing called emulators and ROMs. It's not that fucking difficult to figure out how that shit
They
works.
should be patting Nintendo on the back because this is the one plug and play that has HDMI support. Everything else is AV. So get off their fucking nuts.
It's $60.
One thing
that's not bad.
The one thing I do like the controllers, it hooks up to it via the same.
It's Wii port.
Yeah,
is
the
it
Wii
not?
the Wii nunchuck port, so you can hook it up to your Wii and play Wii games with those controllers.
And they did say that you can plug your NES into a Wiimote and then play the games on your Wii U that you download from Virtual Console with that NES controller.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So if you do want to download stuff on your Wii,
And I would
you can play
wager
with
you could
that.
probably put your Wii Classic controller and plug it and play in those things.
One thing it makes
they
me-
said it only works on Player 2, that you still need the controller that it came with in plugged into the plug and play. But so yeah, it's
One thing
totally
that
works.
really excites me, if this goes over extremely well, that's going to open the door to a mini SNES at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's
would
the
be
one I'm
the
waiting
shit.
for. I mean, I'm psyched about the NES, but Super Nintendo's my favorite
Another
console.
cool feature about the NES Mini is they're doing away with all the password systems, and you can save the game.
Yeah.
Nice.
I want to know if they're going to have
Nice.
a major fat instruction booklet in there for all the games, because you might not need that for something like, I don't know, Mario Brothers, but you will need that for the Star Tropics that's on there. Mm-hmm. You need it for Star Tropics. So I'm wondering if they're going to have something in the box.
Either that or I don't know.
I know the internet exists, but come on,
they may have like integrated like virtual manuals built into it, kind of like when you download a game now.
I hate virtual manuals.
Yeah, it's weird on the virtual console for the few games I've downloaded on my Wii.
I don't like it.
It's weird. Yeah.
3DS, I guess, is about the only thing I found it somewhat a little more manageable on. I guess
because kind of in your hand,
working like a tablet somewhat.
Another news, I mentioned this was kind of leaked, but now it's totally confirmed. Pacman Championship Edition 2 is coming in September. It's a PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Hell yeah.
Watched the trailer for it, and there's all kinds of this new features and game modes on it. I know I saw one of them. There's like a giant-ass ghost in the background that he would like ram the map and make everything fly up in the air. So all kinds of cool little features. It looks a lot more fast-paced, and that's saying something.
I'm excited.
The first one was very fast-paced.
I logged a lot of hours on that first one on Xbox 360, probably 100 plus.
This is definitely going on my arcade cab when it comes out.
Oh, most definitely.
Namco was so close to going the way of Konami, and then they heard the fan outcry, and unlike Konami, they didn't ignore it, and they went back, and now they're doing like really cool.
They just need to release a good version of Pacman Battle Royale on PC.
Oh,
they really do.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
The Pacman Museum version sucks shit.
That's honestly like out of all the arcades I've played over the course of like the past 3 years, other than maybe like the Sky Cursor cabinet, just piddling around it. That's probably the most fun I've had on a cabinet was playing Pacman Battle Royale. You
know what my favorite Pac-Man cabinet wise is? You ever play Baby Pac-Man?
Oh yes,
Mm-hmm.
The little pseudo pinball thing with it.
Yes,
that's cool. It's like a hybrid. I like that.
Yeah.
They had one last year at Southern Fried. It was not working most of the time, but we were able to log
It's one of those
a little
games that
time
are
on it.
notoriously difficult to maintenance. They break down like Operation Wolf
It's
does.
a wonky piece of shit, pretty much. It's a really cool idea, but I've also read that they're very wonky because at the time that was a new thing, merging the arcade and pinball experience, pretty much.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else that's done that. Yeah.
No. Did you have something?
I had one more thing.
With that?
Oh, nothing in addition. If you want to hit something,
I got a small barrage of Pokemon news. I think the first death finally happened attributed to Pokemon Go.
But it wasn't one of the players. Goddamn it!
No, apparently a player crashed into a diesel and it killed the truck driver, which is lame as fuck. I don't know how true that is, but I heard that.
I know there's been a few cases of people walking off cliffs but not dying.
Wow.
I've heard of that. Someone has finally caught all 142 that's out. Apparently, that's
in the U.S.
That was trending in the U.S.
But I have a Dratini, and that's number 147.
So I think Ditto's one of them that's not. I don't know what number Ditto is, but he's not out yet.
Oh, you mean in total there's 142 released, but not exactly the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
Because so far you cannot catch the legendary birds, Mewtwo, Mew, and Ditto. And then there's some of them are region locked. Like Kangaskhan is one, he's in Asia. And there's a couple others.
You think it wouldn't be in Asia since it's kind of like talking about a murderous dictator, you know?
Yeah.
It's a reference to it
I
anyway.
raped people along the Silk Road trade route.
Wow. Okay.
Death to your women. Mongrel. In other Pokemon news, Legendary announced yesterday that they have acquired the rights to make Pokemon movies. And they announced, yes. They announced,
awful.
Do you know what the first live-action Pokemon movie we're getting is?
What's that?
Oh, get ready for it, fellas.
Oh, God.
Get ready. We're getting a live-action fucking Detective Pikachu movie first.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes. Yes.
I know some people are psyched about that, but no, fuck that.
It looks too weird.
Agree.
I don't... Bob Hoskins is dead, and he's the only fucking person I would want to voice Pikachu, or maybe Danny DeVito, because there was actually like a small petition to get Danny DeVito to do the voice. But I want Frank Danny DeVito doing the voice.
Yeah, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Frank.
Oh, God damn it! But that won't ever happen. That's all for.
I keep seeing these people asking like for live action movies. I'm like, why? They fuck it up every single time. It's always bastardized versions, and the only thing you can hope for is they get it so fucking bad that it's good.
Yeah, and then a lot of times you can't even hope for that anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
That's all for Pokemon news. The other...
I had some more Pokemon news real quick.
Okay. Go.
Pokemon Sun and Moon will let you train your Pokemon after level 100. Are either of y'all familiar with the IVs or individual values in Pokemon?
Nope.
It's essentially like, your Pokemon have all the basic stats, HP, like attack, special attack. Every single
strength, defense.
Yeah. Every single Pokemon has like a base stat, and then it can vary on a scale. So you might catch a Pokemon, but his individual stats suck, or they might be really awesome for that Pokemon. And the only way to get around it in the games normally is you have to breed the fuck out of them. It takes a long time. They're making it where after you hit level 100, you can raise those stats without having to go through all that. And I think that's a really good change, because that's one of the things that always kept me out of competitive Pokemon, is having to you either cheat your Pokemon in or you breed them for fucking ever. You just fuck the shit out of some Dittos and you breed them.
I can't wait to see what kind of bizarre, stupid-ass Pokemon come out with this one. I hope there's a Pokeball Pokemon.
Fuck.
I know they were
just something somebody be like, what? Be like, yeah, it's a Pokemon that looks like a Pokeball.
I saw one Pokemon. It looks like it
Talk
came
about
out.
Getting confused.
It looks like it came out of a cartoon that they would have within the Pokemon universe, and its whole thing is it looks like a Pikachu, so people will love it.
Don't get me started about cartoons inside of the universe.
I'm not really interested in the new Pokemons anymore. I haven't been for a long time. They've kind of run out of ideas, and I understand there's only so many ways you can mix up these different elements and make new interesting monsters.
Wasn't there recently a fucking garbage bag Pokemon or
Probably.
something?
I know when last one I played was a Diamond and Pearl, and there's one that could evolve into like a fan and a lawnmower and a couple other
I want to say a
I'm out,
maxi
kids.
pad
I'm
tampon.
Yeah.
It just absorbs the blood of its enemies.
Microwave oven toaster Pokemon.
Oh, god damn it.
The Pokemon universe, though, would have to be a vegan's nightmare, because you couldn't eat anything without killing a Pokemon. Everything's a goddamn Pokemon. You couldn't cut your grass without killing Pokemon. You couldn't eat your fucking salad without killing Pokemon.
That's true, but Ted Nugent would have a goddamn field
Hell
day.
yes, he would.
Kill them all. Let God sort the rest out. What's the spirit of the wilds be driven from them? I hate America now, and I think we should. Never mind. I ain't going to go on one of those.
I don't know if I should say this on air, but Ted Nugent's Pokemon might have to be a future sponsor.
That's kind of what I was saying. It's just like an alcohol-free racist Pokemon. Kills the fuck out of shit.
Well, instead of Big Buck Hunter or whatever, it's Ted Nugent's hunting Pokemon.
I could just imagine Ted Nugent throwing his Pokemon to Reader. He's like, "Go get him, Motor City Madman."
I always felt like there was a Ted Nugent video game. Any of those Cabela's Most Dangerous Hunts games.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming right for us.
Yeah. You're just on the back of a speeding Jeep, and there's just fucking, wildcats jumping out off the mountains after you and stuff. You're gunning them all down.
I imagine Ted Nugent's the kind of guy that's driving. He just in the back of a Jeep with a goddamn rocket launcher, and he just sees a prairie dog peek its head up.
It's coming right for us.
Just blows the whole goddamn hillside away.
Leopard print spandex. I choose you.
I seen all the spirits of their wilds leaving from beneath their bodies. And I'm not voting for fucking Hillary goddamn Clinton either.
Voting lump.
Vote lump.
Wrong lump.
The two small things I had before the last thing I wanted to say was PS4 has been confirmed for the System Shock remake when it comes out as well.
Yep. I'm part of that Kickstarter. I'm going to be a cyborg in that game.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game.
Nice.
Though, you need to get it on PC because...
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'll get it for PC.
Fuck PS4. I mean, the PS4 is good, but fuck first-person shooters on consoles.
I like the PS4 because every single game that I'm in or credited to or a character in is on the PS4. So it's kind of like a nice little... if I want to ever show my kids...
A box to contain yourself in.
Yeah, if I ever want to show my son when he grows up, here's all the games Daddy was in, I could just be like, boom, PS4, instead of having to run the once modern operating system like 20 years from now and have it chug and crank, you know, try to get
let me boot up Windows 10 box.
Yeah.
No shit. Windows 10, but yes, it was 2016.
Yeah.
Christ.
So I like they're all on PS4.
Everybody got retarded and switched to Apple. We call that the Apple apocalypse.
Computers weren't integrated into our flesh at that point. Their South Park's new game, which I love the fucking title of. It's called South Park Fractured Butthole. They announced they have a $190 deluxe edition coming out that comes with a sick ass huge Cartman as the Coon mobile that's remote controlled.
No,
it
that's
comes
crazy.
It comes with a DVD, I think, of a new episode.
Did you say 190 American?
What?
US dollars? $190?
Oh yeah, $190.
Fuck me.
Yeah, $190 is pricey.
Wow.
The end of an era. The last VCR, I didn't know people were still making VCRs.
Really?
But Japan does.
Oh.
The last VCR will be produced in the next 2 months. So VCRs, after 40 years, are finally going away.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun. Which, I mean, they've already kind of went
That
away.
means a week after, VCRs will be cool again.
Kmart still sells fucking blank VHS tapes.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's because it's Kmart.
It is the land of broken dreams.
The case.
Tell me about it. I used to work there. I have never been more demoralized as an employee for a company in my life than when I worked at Kmart. Hashtag
I imagine.
fuck Kmart.
I imagine.
Every time I walk in there, I just take a deep breath. I'm like, it smells like
The
broken
K in
dreams
Kmart.
and
Yeah, I was going to say
dilapidation.
The K in Kmart actually stands for the sins of yesteryear.
Smell the asbestos in the air.
You know, last year they stopped selling video games and consoles altogether.
I did because I went up there and seen what they had left and pulled off the shelves, and they were still wanting stupid, ridiculous prices for it. So I was like, no, thank you.
Fuck that.
Like all they had really was like
$40 for Guitar
Yoshi's
Hero.
Story, and they for like 3DS, and they were wanting like $45 still.
You know, last year, I don't know if I talked about it on here. I remember when I was searching for news stories, I came across a story where someone found a Kmart that still had a GBA on display there for use.
Like on a kiosk or something?
Or just the little
demo play?
just the little demo bracket where they hang off the side of the shelves.
Yeah.
I vividly remember when they were carrying like PlayStation 2 games and shit. They still had like boxed SNES games hanging up in the back of the shelf. It was all like sports games, but I do remember that.
Finding old shit for games in Kmart. When I worked there, I was in the back in the vault where they kept some of the games before they were allowed to street date release them, you know. And I found an old sealed demo disc for a GameCube kiosk. And it said like volume 29. I didn't even know what games were on. I was like, whoa. I was like, what are you guys going to do with this? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, can I have this? And they're like, yeah. So I got that sitting on my shelf. I've never opened it. I don't know what fucking games are on it.
I wish I could go back in time and kick my own ass, because I remember going to like EB Games and Toys R Us. I'm like, Chrono Trigger for $5. I already got that game.
Oh, dude, no kidding. I remember when the prices weren't shit. And like picking up one of my greatest displeasures in my life is because I didn't have a TurboGrafx 16 when I was about 17, but buying Box Adventure for like fucking $15 and being like, yeah, then end up trading it off, and now it's like, $400 fucking game.
The only thing I can remember,
God damn it,
seeing in a store that I should have bought and kept as a kid when it was normal priced, and yeah, it was like one of those $9.99 bins. It was at a KB Toys in the mall. And they were trying to sell off their Super Nintendo stock because they were making way for the N64. And I remember they had, dumb shit that isn't worth much, like Yoshi's Cookie and stuff in there. But I remember seeing this game, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And now that I'm older, thinking I should have grabbed it because it's fucking Terranigma for the Super Nintendo. Oh, my God. If I had that now, I wish I'd have grabbed that.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that still makes me sick is I remember Movie Factory in Coleman when they went out a bit, the one downtown, when they went out of business, they sold off.
Is it not here anymore?
There's one. It's like up the road on 31
okay,
here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
They sold off all their NES games, though, and for like fucking dirt cheap. I'm talking like $3-4 a piece, and they had 2 behind the counter. And I went in there and asked them, and they were like, somebody come in and bought them earlier, bought them for $10 a piece. They had Bubble Bath Babes and
that's like
some
$1,000.
some like slot game that was like another Nintendo nudie slot game. They had both of those. I remember going in there and they had them on the top shelf. Went in there and asked, and they said some guy had come in like 3 or 4 days prior and bought them for $10 a piece.
What really
and I'm just
makes
like,
me
you
mad?
sold them like $2,000 worth of games.
Yeah,
$20.
The thing that makes
for
me
10% or
No.
1%.
Yes.
The thing that makes me mad that they sold, because I know the owners of Movie Factory, dude, whose mom owns the store. He went to school with me, Lee or something like that. Yeah, Lee Speakman. His the rarest game I saw there actually worth more than that. It goes for $21,000.
The Speed Racer and bicycle game. I remember when they had it as
the
well.
Exertainment. Yeah,
I remember when they had that.
It's not worth much separate, but the double pack. Yeah. Speed Racer and Mountain Bike Rally for the Exertainment, exercise bike for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, they released a rare version that was combined both games.
Huh.
Yeah, and they had that up there.
My buddy bought the Miracle Piano from Pharaoh Shop that was complete in box.
The NES version? Or the
Yeah,
Super
the
Nintendo?
NES one.
Oh, wow. That's
I think
awesome.
it's whichever one's like worth like $400 or $500 now.
I think it's the NES one, yeah.
He's got it like complete. He gave that asshat at Pharaoh Shop like $20. Anyways, that's it for news.
That's it for news.
Oh,
That's not it for news.
Oh,
I was just gonna say that somebody, Metal Jesus from Metal Jesus
Oh,
Rocks
yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
love that guy.
discovered he made a find this week and has the only known retail ready working
American.
version of an American Nintendo 64 disc drive.
Yep.
And it even come with a demo cart on the inside of it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I'm not sure what was on the disc.
Yeah, he was looking for
But,
someone helping him to get into it to find out what it is.
He did confirm it, and it's like he confirmed it with one of the former reps at Nintendo that actually had worked on the 64
Yeah.
There
CD,
in, Redmond, Washington.
and it's
yeah.
fucking legit. I'm just like, God damn, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys got to check out that video, Metal Jesus Rocks, on YouTube.
It's cool.
Cool dude, too. Yeah, the only thing or only few things I have for news is Retro City Rampage is continuing to release physical versions of their games and shit. So because of the outcry of people that missed the first 2,000 copies of the PS4 disc version of the game, there's another 3,000 coming out, or another few thousand coming out. The first 3,000, though, come with a retail box, no physical media. You get a download code, but a retail box of a PSP version that was released for free for people who already own it, download style and stuff on, cross-play, Vita, PS3, and PS4. The first 3,000, again, come with a gold cover variant and a few minor extras that aren't worth mentioning. But yeah, that's going to go for a lot on eBay like the other physical versions. I have the original, one of the original 2,000 copies of the PS4 version and the PS Vita version, sealed or whatever. And I was just going to keep them because I like the game, but I didn't know how rare they're going to be. But it's currently the rarest PS4 version. Not bragging, I was just saying I was surprised that it exploded into something collectible because I just like the game. And I was going to open it thinking, that'd be cool to have and not clog up my PS4's hard drive with. But once I saw how much it was going on eBay, I was like, "Oh,
Might as well leave the fucking plastic
I was like,
on it."
I'm not gonna open it. I almost did. I was so close.
It's only like a 100 megabyte game or so, ain't it?
Yeah, it's
not too big.
super small. Yeah, 130 something or like that. Yeah. What else do I have? Yeah, small plug. Well, fuck me, I can't even think of the small plug I was going to do. So let's skip that. Other news having to do with games. Famous YouTuber PewDiePie. He's kind of embroiled in some controversy. Apparently, he did not disclose.
Is he?
Did his nuts drop?
I was gonna say, is he contesting someone for biggest douche in the universe?
No, not at all, because he's the clear winner.
Agreed.
Right. No, he did not disclose that Warner Brothers paid him for positive reviews on some games.
Yeah,
and he still
Shadows Over Mordor is one, I believe.
That was it. That's the one. He still has it in his YouTube description on the video that go and buy this game here and blah blah blah. And he gave it a glowing review, but he forgot to tell, like some people do, hey, this was a sponsored video or something. No, he totally straight up didn't. He just like gushed over Shadows of Mordor. So fuck that dude. The small plug that I was trying to remember, there is a video game documentary coming out called Box Art, and it's about, like it sounds, box art that was influential and impressionable on young gamers, because there really wasn't too much of an internet reviewing community back then. So all of us, this is a retro gaming podcast, all of us can attest that one of the biggest influences on us, besides word of mouth, in kindergarten, was the box art. How cool did it look? And then you paid your $50 and hoped for the best on your NES.
That is true.
That's what I decided 90% of my rentals on.
Absolutely.
That looks cool.
So they're doing a documentary. This was Kickstarted, and full disclosure, I am a guest interviewee on the documentary. You will see my face on the documentary.
Cool.
And they're gonna, like I said, go through and
they better at least give us some kind of answer of what the fuck happened with the Mega Man box art.
I knew you were going to mention that. That was a goddamn dumpster fire. He looked severely disabled in all the mental ways.
He's got a pussy ass little gun. He's just like, I'm here to blast some robots.
Fucking crooked pistol. Yeah.
Is it
gonna shoot the fucking robots, or is it gonna make sweet fuck with them?
Right. The other thing I wanted to plug. Another Kickstarter that I'm a part of. There is a compendium encyclopedia hardcover. It's paperback too, but there's a book coming out that is called The Complete NES, Collector's Book and Ultimate Guide, and it's SNES. I don't know if I said it or not. I'm a little tipsy, guys.
It's okay.
I kind of pounded 2 beers like ultra fast. Anyways, The Complete SNES, Collector's Book and Ultimate Guide, and it's just, a small encyclopedia of every damn Super Nintendo game with a short little blurb and the box art and some little screenshots of the game, just telling you what it is. Sort of like a encyclopedia, but I think only a page or 2 gets dedicated to each game. And, it looks really sweet, but it looks, high value or high production value and whatnot. So it looks like a nice little, at least coffee table book to have on your,
nice.
in your collection. But the reason I wanted to plug that, because, like anything Kickstarter I mentioned on the show, I'm a part of it. I am writing a review for a game of my choice. And I was really, really tempted to, get my name out there and do a review of like a very famous game like Super Mario World or something like that, but I decided not to be a self-promoting chode like I am already being on this podcast talking about my Kickstarter, and just
99% of everything is self-promotion pretty much.
I mean, our podcast is promoting our podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you see it that way. Not so much a douche, just a miniature douche. Anyway, and be real and do a review of a game that's not so famous, but one that means the most to me. The one I had the most fun with on Super Nintendo. So I'm doing a game for, or a review in the book for my personal favorite game, and it's kind of a hidden gem, but amongst us real retro collectors, it's gained a little bit of notoriety. And so the game of my choice that I'll be doing a review for is The Ninja Warriors by Natsume and published by Taito. That game's fucking awesome, guys. I cannot just oh my god, that fucking
robot ninjas
soundtrack,
wrecking shit.
That fucking soundtrack, and it's one of the greatest remakes ever. Because the arcade original is great and all, but oh my god, it's like Terminator 2. It outshines the brilliant original, in every way. And the crazy thing about it is it's a beat 'em up, but it's on like it's side scrolling, like in one plane, like Super Metroid or something like that. So you don't move up and down the screen like Streets of Rage or Ninja Turtles or something like that.
There's no Y-axis.
Right. And there's no coin drop in. It's like continue, and then you got to restart the level if you die. And it's one player only. So you would think, wow, for a really, really good beat 'em up, that doesn't sound like one. Nope, fuck that. It's one of my top 5 all-time favorite beat 'em ups. Up there with like the greats, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, or Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, arcade exclusive.
Yeah.
No, it's that damn good. So I'm that's the one I've chosen to do a review on. So
nice.
small plug.
Huh?
So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So we done with news?
We're done with
That's
news.
all I have. Yeah.
All right. With feeling this time.
We are. So, which segment are we going to do? We're going to do our topics, or are we going to do the...
Let's do topics.
Okay. Because, yeah. We want to be timely, and I got a lot to say about mine. Why don't you start us off with what you've been doing this week? Playing and doing.
Doing and playing.
Played 2 games. One of them I'm not talking about till next week. I've been playing Baldur's Gate, but I haven't played it enough to give it the fair shake yet. I mean, I've beat it in the past, but that was many years ago. Back when I was loading like multiple CDs throughout the gameplay.
Yeah.
So
insert disc 3 now to continue your journey.
I sat down and I beat in one sitting Little Samson, and
Nice.
yeah, it lives up to every bit as much as I loved it as a kid.
One of the few rare games that's good. It's
It
not
is
rare
great.
because it's sold bad because it's shit like Cheetahman or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
It was one of the last games to be produced for the NES.
Yeah.
Making it probably the most sought after NES cart at this point, other than, realistically, that is the most sought after because not everybody in the world is going to own World Championship
I
carts.
knew you were
and all
going
that
to
shit.
mention that, yeah. But it's not realistic at all.
right.
Other than, like, I guess, what is it? The real expensive track game by Bandai. Track
you're
and Field.
talking about, Stadium Events.
Stadium Events.
Yeah.
Up there with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's released in '92 by Taito. It's very Mega Man-ish.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It makes me think of an odd blend of Mega Man and Tiny Toon Adventures.
Yeah.
Yes.
How you can like change into the different characters to aid you in different areas.
There's even
of the
got
level.
some Mario style platforming in some parts too.
Yeah.
Great boss battles.
Yeah, it does. Great music. One of my favorite songs from the game is the Golem's theme. So mention you got 4 different characters you can choose from. You can be Little Samson. Let me turn this down a little bit. You can be Little Samson, and he's the most roundabout character in the game. He's fairly quick, jumps high. He can shoot with them. He can climb on ceilings and walls. Then there's Kikira the dragon. Kikira is probably the second most useful character overall. Kikira can kind of hover for a while, pretty decent way, so it makes a lot of the more platforming levels easier. He also shoots fireballs that go in a curve, almost like a J almost, and he can hold down the fire button and charge it up.
Unleash hell then.
Yeah. Then there's Gam the Golem, which you just heard his theme there. He is by far the biggest and slowest character in the game, but also the toughest and strongest.
He's the character that looks like a giant rock, like boulders.
He looks like
Thing
from Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Oh,
But a much better version, by the way.
Yeah.
Than our latest cinematic
Yeah,
offerings.
at least the movie version
Yeah.
is pure shit compared to him.
fucking hell.
True that.
His main, besides being the stronger and tougher, he can walk on spikes, which normally would kill a character, severely maim them. And I think that's it. He can't hardly jump. He's also the only character that can attack in all 4 cardinal directions. Little Samson's on the left and right. The Kikira the dragon's left and right, and the 4th character can only go in certain spots. So he's the only guy. He's good for hitting enemies directly above you and below you. The last character is very easy to underestimate. Like, I underestimated him the entire time I played him as a kid, and now that I played him as an adult, I was like, holy shit, no wonder I had trouble with this game. That made the game so much easier. KO the mouse. He has the least health, but
He's tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny. He's very fast, can jump very high. Because he's so small, he's good for getting all the secret power-ups and stuff. His attack, though, he leaves bombs, like little timed bombs in areas. And holy shit, if you land those, they will rape a boss. I remember some of these bosses I had trouble with as a kid. I would just jump over to them with the mouse and just spam bombs, and it would damn near wipe out half their health in one go. It was amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, don't underestimate the mouse. He's fucking useful. But yeah, you switches between them four. When you start off the game, you have to do one level with each character. And it's kind of like an introduction to each of their powers. But after you do their introductory levels, they all get together, and you actually have to fight the dragon as Little Samson because they're having kind of a scuffle, I guess, about who's going to be the leader. But you beat the dragon, and you go on to the normal levels. And this game's first time is kind of unique in the way that you can go into slightly different pathways and across the overworld map. And easy and normal are two different ways of beating the game. Like if you play on easy, apparently it cuts you off after one of the harder bosses in the game. When I was on normal, there's still several more levels after that till you get the real ending.
That's cool.
The main difference besides that is on normal, your max life with all the characters is lower than on easy. There's more enemies, and if your character dies on normal, they stay dead for that whole level unless you use a potion to bring them back. So if you're playing a level and your mouse dies, until you beat that level, you don't get the mouse again unless you use one of the potions. The only exception is Little Samson, because Little Samson is the only character that can beat every single level except for like the first one and the last one. I didn't want to take a whole lot of time to step through the game level by level because I'm too lazy. I would just want to talk about some of the more unique bosses. And the levels overall, they varied a lot in the setting. There's a lot of, like, I would say Roman architecture throughout the level.
Yeah.
A lot of the iconic pillars. I don't know what the proper columns and pillars and stuff. And you go across all kinds of different landscapes. I know there's one. I think there's actually two levels that are almost completely up in the air, and you pretty much have to use Kikira the Dragon for them. But there's little whirlwinds that go back and forth, and you can hitch rides on those. For the most part, because you can select what characters you want at any given time, the difficulty level in this game really isn't that high. There's a few bosses that will give you a fierce cuckolding, but for the most part, if you think about things and are quick with that start button to switch characters, not much is going to really keep you from beating the game. Like if you see you're about to land on a pile of spikes, switch over to the Golem.
Character is
right,
not vulnerable to spikes.
Yeah, or if you got to dodge a lot of shit, get the mouse. Not much shit's going to hit you. That kind of thing. One of my favorite boss battles, and you have to fight most of the bosses twice on normal, like once normally throughout the game, and then again at the end of the game. But one of my favorites is a big ass dragon that takes up pretty much 2/3 of the screen. You're on the left side 1/3 of the screen, and you got 3 little blocks that you can stand on. This dragon, he shoots fireballs at you. He kind of shoots, I guess, wind at you. You know, little like symbols of wind is coming at you. I don't know what the fuck you'd call them. They hit you, it hurts you.
Yeah, gusts, I guess.
Yeah, little gusts of wind at you, and he also just charges you with his talons or with his face. So you got to go between those 3 platforms, and you're constantly dodging fireballs, gusts of wind, and him. And if he hits you with his physical body, I think it's always an instant death. I never saw him not kill one of my characters when that happened. For that particular boss, Little Samson and Kikira the Dragon are pretty much your go-to guys there. Not much you can do with a mouse, really. I guess you could lay some bombs when he charges at you or something, but it
would take fucking forever, probably.
Well, they damage a lot, but it's really risky. So if you happen to land on top of him on your way back down when you dodge, then you're fucked. The Golem's too slow; he can't jump high enough. But yeah, that's one of my more favorite ones. The Golden Dragon Mage is my favorite, and I consider it the hardest boss battle of the game. And it's also the final boss if you're playing on easy mode. Throughout the game, you fight these different colored mages, and they all have different abilities, and they always summon some kind of a champion after you beat them. The Golden Dragon Mage, he kind of morphs into a dragon's head, and when you're first fighting him in his human form, he'll teleport somewhere and he'll start slinging these these balls of what the hell am I looking for? There's a word.
Balls of
fuck.
Balls of fuck.
I thought about this phrasing earlier, and now I'm completely brain farting. Epilepsy. Balls of epilepsy.
Balls of fuck, essentially.
Yeah, because they're flashing so violently that like it was hurting my eyes just trying to play this boss. But
oh wow,
yeah,
throw like fucking disco balls at you, pretty much.
Yeah, I felt like the old fish brain in the back of my head is like twitching, like about to just make me seizure out. But he throws balls of epilepsy at you, and it's not too bad. This is one part where the mouse completely destroys him and 2 of his attack patterns, you can completely wipe him out with a mouse. He throws the balls at you, and you just walk up beside him, lay down as many bombs as you can, run off. They do like half his health and damage. He turns into the dragon head though, and it becomes a war of fucking attrition, because you can only hurt him for a brief second or two between this attack pattern where he flies up straight in the air, and he starts just spamming the epilepsy balls to the left and right, and then all of a sudden they just start flying at you from off the side of the screen, and you just got to dodge them for like a solid 20 seconds or so. And there's a lot of them. That's where being the mouse really comes in handy there, because you're only, if you were to set this up on a tile type thing, he would be 1 tile wide, and all the balls are too, and there's no in between. Everything's really distinct.
You have to be really precise.
Yeah, some of the jumps and dodges you have to make, it's pretty hard to do with a bigger character. So the mouse is pretty crucial to getting out of that unscathed. But once he comes down in dragon form, I found it best to be Little Samson or Kikira the dragon and just spam at him from across the screen for the brief second you got. Because if you got to run over to him with the golem or the mouse, he's going to fly back up in the air and start spamming the epilepsy at you, and it takes a long time. After you beat him, a castle on the overall map that looks like kind of like a giant skull almost, it flies up in the air, and that's the real final stage. And in it, you have to fight all the other bosses again. I think it's all of them, if not all of them, just about all of them. And yeah, and plus the general stages themselves on there are pretty damn difficult. Very, very enemy heavy. But if you use your head, you can avoid a lot of it. Like if you use the mouses or Little Samson's ability to climb on the ceiling, there's some areas where you can just be like, nope, fuck all this shit, and
completely bypass it.
Yeah, just climb your way over it. Final mage boss isn't too terribly difficult. He's definitely easier than that golden dragon mage. He again, the running theme of these mages, they shoot balls at you, and you pretty much dodge him, and he can wipe him out with a mouse pretty easily. But he turns into this disembodied armor with a sword, and at that point, it gets a little harder to beat him. I found it best is to spam the shit out of him with a golem. You can just knock him with the dick repeatedly until he dies.
Nice. That will kill most things.
Yeah,
I've come to learn.
Yep. And then after that, the whole like mountain castle that's in the air starts falling apart because he beat the big bad guy. So of course his fortress of solitude falls apart around him. So the final levels is like really quick platforming where everything's falling down around you, and it is the only other level besides the first ones that Little Samson can't do everything. So you need the mouse to crawl through the small spaces you normally couldn't. You got to have the dragon to fly over gaps or well, not really gaps, just long distances that you normally
couldn't make with a jump.
You would probably take a lot of damage from falling rocks and stuff. There's a lot of spots where the golem's handy. You go through all that, and at the end of it, the big bad evil mage guy comes back in the disembodied armor, and it looks like he stabs Samson with his sword, and then the dragon gets up and whoops his ass, and it makes you think that the dragon died, but he comes back, and him and Little Samson are best friends forever, even though they had that scuffle at the beginning.
They're like going off and buying each other fucking ice cream and shit.
Yeah. Yep. Really fucking great game. It took me like an hour and a half to 2 hours to beat it, and I'm not, that was me playing it for the first time since I was a kid. So I'm assuming if I can do that, it's not too terribly difficult of a game. It's definitely worth checking out if you can either download it or pay the hefty fucking fee to get a real copy of it.
Yeah. About $1,000. Hefty.
Yeah. It's pretty hefty.
Yep.
Is that it for Little Samson?
Yeah, that's it for Little Samson. We're keeping this thing kind of short.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to go off on too big of a fucking rant and tangent here.
I'm going to be covering Baldur's Gate next week, so that's going to take some time.
I went back and tortured myself a little bit more after the fact that I already tortured myself Friday. And I've been piddling around with, oh, yes. I've been piddling around with a little bit of, well, that's about as good as it's going to get. Can you guess?
Oh, no. I know what this is.
Been piddling around with Ghostbusters on the NES.
You, Lyle.
And I'll even make it a bit worse on that notion. So I've also been piddling around with Ghostbusters on the Atari 2600.
Oh.
Which is a 2600 port of the NES. So,
why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that was at the time when Atari put everything on there, no matter what. It's a movie, we gotta have it.
Before I just start ranting and raving, I'm going to take a sip of this. Whatever this is.
This is a Tropfen. It's a German spiced liquor. This is a particular brand is Mühltropfen from the Wachmühl Inn and from Feuchtwagen, Germany. I brought this back from Germany. This shit tastes like Christmas. It tastes like cinnamon, like a Fireball whiskey. And I know that sounds good, but wait for it.
It looks dangerous.
The other half of it tastes like a pine tree air freshener from a taxi cab.
Fuck me, it stings.
This is spicy.
You say it
liquor.
Tastes like Christmas. That makes me think it tastes like credit card debt and family issues.
I was gonna say, what if some of us had broken Christmases?
If you get addicted to this stuff, you will have credit card issues.
Did Santa Claus come last night?
And,
No, your drunk
broken
fucking dad run him off.
Family issues. Yeah, this shit's it's rough, man. If you drink this, you're a hoss.
I'm taking a sip of this just to. I'm sorry, I just threw cigarettes at my wife.
That's already happened.
It's keeping it classy around here. Anyways, Ghostbusters on NES. Here's one of my first main qualms with it. You have to buy your own fucking gear at the beginning of the game.
You just go to Ghost Stop.
I'll never understand that.
You have to go to a store and you can buy ghost meats to lure ghosts with.
Ghost meat?
There's ghost meats.
I have 100 questions.
It's ghost bait, but it's a little meat. It's like you getting fucking. It's like it makes me think of like the meat you give Octoroks in Zelda to lure them. Well, you get your ghost meat and you can get a ghost vacuum and put on your car.
Patrick Swayze gave to me more ghost meat.
He did. He gave a lot of women.
So did Bill Cosby as Ghost Dad.
Now you can see me, and now you don't. But you drive in this game. You have to pretty much you're on an overhead screen that's like downtown New York. It's got a bunch of buildings, and in the center there is the Zool building, which is the supposed to be the movie from the first one in near Central Park. Where Dana Barrett lives. So pretty much you drive the Ghostbusters logo around this overhead map,
right.
and you
stop
fucking ghosts from going into the. Now it's loading up the 8-bit Atari version. You stop these fucking ghosts though from entering this building, because when they enter the building, it makes the PKE energy go up, and the further it up it gets, it makes Stay Puft spawn on the overhead map. And if he gets to the building before you can catch so many ghosts, you're fucked. It's just game over. Period. And what you have to do is stop these ghosts, and then you'll see buildings that you'll drive by flash red. Well, you go to that building and hit start or select, and it goes to an overhead map where you have to fucking drive and dodge, obviously, drunken drivers all over New York because they'll be just floating back and forth between lanes all the way down the road.
Is there any other type of driver in New York, though?
They're playing Pokemon Go, probably driving down the fucking road. And the whole time, you have to run over gas barrels to put gas in your car because you can run out of gas. And if you run out of gas, 2 Ghostbusters get out of the car and push the car to the next gas station. And it charges you a fuck stack of money.
What happens if you don't have the money?
I think it's game over.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
No, it goes into a bonus mode where you have to hook for money. You gotta wear a skirt and fishnet stockings on the street. And
you gotta slime people.
Yeah,
slime people.
But you actually, when you get to the building, if you get to the one that's with ghosts, it goes to a side-scrolling scene where you control 2 Ghostbusters. You can only shoot your beam directly straight up in the air. And there's shitty little glitchy ghosts flying overhead. What you have to do is wrangle them into an area above a trap. You hit the trap button, which is B, and it sends like a little ball, a little orb up and down like an elevator. And if the ghosts touch it, it drags them down with it. But if they just decide to fly away from it, you're fucked. Because you cannot use your proton stream and the trap at the same time.
Oh, shit.
And it's really fucking aggravating. And then if you manage to get all that enough to go into the Zool building, this is where most everybody fucking dies and eats shit at. You have to go up like 30 flights of stairs, and 2 touches from these ghosts completely kill you. And to go up, you have to tap A and B really fast to make them walk.
Yes.
And you
back
use,
and forth.
This is also where you
toggle.
use your fucking ghost meat, too. You put your ghost meat on the stairs, and the ghosts will go to this meat for a minute, giving you enough time to go up. But as soon as you get off the screen to make the meat go off screen, they immediately come back after you.
It is near impossible.
It is near fucking impossible. And then if you manage to get to the top, it's an overhead top down where you dodge Gozer attacks, and it's so chaotic, like you got to be perfect. But you kill Gozer, and pretty much the ending of this game is it says congratulations.
Yep.
And it's like, you and your fans have saved the city. Thank you for playing a great game.
Oh, it says like
or something like that.
You have proved the justice of your culture.
Oh, yeah, you have proved the justice of our
There's so
culture.
many
and proved
typos.
is Prooved.
Yeah.
Proved.
There's grammatical errors, typos. It's the worst English ever.
I ain't afraid no English. But I've done all that, and I'm just gonna stop that. That's annoying.
It reminds me and my wife was watching wrestling the other night, and there's a Japanese guy on there, and she said, "Man, he looks like the Japanese Marilyn Manson." And it's like, "Don't you mean the Japanese Marilyn Manson?"
Oh man, I could say something so the beautiful people. Never mind. Anyways, I also play Ghostbusters 2, which is another really bad game.
It's slightly better.
It is slightly better,
At
but it is
at least you're the Ghostbusters most of the time.
You do play as a Ghostbusters.
I think it's one of the top 10 worst games, the original Ghostbusters on NES, because I know he was talking about the proton packs and the streams, and yeah, you do get to play as the Ghostbusters, and only the white ones, because apparently the game's racist.
Ernie Hudson did not exist in the old Ghostbusters, apparently. They did not put him in shit.
But really, most of the game is you looking at an overhead map of some of the worst NES graphics of buildings, and you're steering
listening to that song that you heard on fucking repeat.
Even when you are the Ghostbusters,
that's the only song.
That is the only song you hear. The whole game is just a stupid loop with this theme song. Anyway, but yeah, you steer the Ghostbusters logo most of the time. That's really it feels like the main character of the game. It feels like a really horrible GPS or something.
Feels like a really horrible third act.
Ghostbusters Go.
Yes. Oh my god.
Ghostbusters. Go.
Miserable game.
Ghostbusters.
They're going to make a new Ghostbusters Go game, and you're going to go around and catch virtual ghosts, and if you fail to catch them, you're sexist.
Maybe, possibly. Maybe you should just go around and try to make a good Ghostbusters movie.
But the is only like the places where you catch the ghost are only in ghost towns or rundown buildings or Civil War sites or something.
It really sucks though to think about though, because Ghostbusters on NES is my first exposure to NES ever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My grandparents went and rented me an NES when I was like 4, I guess. I I was 4. I got a Casey Jones action figure that Christmas, I remember. Anyways, they went and rented the shit, and I was all in the Ghostbusters, and literally Ghostbusters was my first. Ghostbusters and Mario, of course, were my 2 first NES endeavors.
Dude, that's rough.
Now, believe it or not, there is actually a really great platforming style Ghostbusters game on Genesis that came out in 1990. It's called Ghostbusters.
Is that the one where they're all like super deformed or chibi?
They are super deformed, big head, little bodies.
That was a pretty cool game.
Also, another game that puts the fucking on Ernie Hudson. He is nowhere to be found in the game at all. There is no Winston. You can pick from Stantz, Venkman, or Spangler. That's it.
Wow.
I'm going to take this shot and get to the real meat of what I wanted to talk about real quick.
God. The ghost meat?
Do the ghost meat, the ghostly meats.
This is going to be rough.
Go.
How is it, Lyle? Describe that taste and burn.
It tastes like if Jägermeister could assume a form with arms and legs and walk up to a beehive and fuck it. The semen that he leaves in the beehive would be collected by the bees and formed into a new drink, which is Mühlentroffen. That's it, right?
That's a pretty good close pronunciation.
That's
99% close, man.
Sight read the bottle right then.
It's
actually pretty tasty, though. It's heavily spiced.
It's super
It just
spiced.
puts me in the right fucking mood to talk about this.
Is it better warm or like freezer cold?
Actually, yeah, most of their liquor is warm, and so that's how I had it. Was like this.
I'll pass.
Okay.
Wise choice.
Well, I wish I would have passed on the new Ghostbusters movie. I'm going to do a quick rundown and spoiler alert right now. We'll credit that spoiler alert. I'm doing full spoilers on this shit for what little I want to talk about.
We're saving you guys the pain. Don't go see it.
Ghostbusters is my favorite franchise at all, and ever since all this has started, I've never been super thrilled about the fact that it's all women, because I felt early on that's cool and all. I don't have a problem with women. I'm not sexist in any way. I'm all about female empowerment. But I've said from the get-go, I kind of felt like, well, they probably got a shitty half-rate story on their hands, and, maybe nobody sees it like this, I don't guess. I was like, maybe they're using these women as their cop-out to, we're making a pretty bad movie. This will be our crutch we're not doing anything different. This is what we're doing different. Because, that's one thing that's been with this movie. They keep saying they're doing their own thing. We're not remaking the original. We're rebooting it. It's new. Everything's different.
Every single joke in the trailer was a shitty movie trope. Like, it's been done a million times.
The entire movie is a movie trope. I know, and I'm probably going to catch some fucking flack for it, because I know a lot of people that had fun with the movie. And I'm not going to 100% say that it's just like...
It's a shit.
Dog shit movie. I've seen way worse things out there. And there's a few times where I genuinely laugh. Some of the humor in it is funny to me, but it's not fucking Ghostbusters humor.
Well, do you compare this to Ghostbusters as the 1999 American Godzilla to the rest of the Godzilla?
Yes, absolutely. I think so.
This feels like a movie that's about catching ghosts with a Ghostbuster skin. It does not feel like a Ghostbusters movie.
I kind of summed it up the other day like they made a film adaptation of the Ghostbusters cartoon series.
That's Ghostbusters Extreme.
Real Ghostbusters I like, but it is way more. The first Ghostbusters, the 1984 one, it is a comedy. It's a very dry comedy, but it still has serious, scary, freaky shit in it. The ghosts, like the terror dogs, Gozer, all the shit.
Those old ghosts were way scarier than anything I saw.
No shit. Like, okay,
skeletal zombie
all
taxi
the ghosts
cab driver
in this new one look like the Haunted Mansion ghosts. They're all blue, and they're like throwing ghost axes and shit.
They ought to be in an Eddie Murphy movie, not this.
They do. They look straight out of that movie.
Eddie Murphy should have been a fucking Ghostbuster in this movie.
Yeah.
it's like that, and all the other ghosts are fucking cartoony. For example, they're the ghost. Long story short, it is the exact same movie as the fucking 84 one. It's just kind of broken up differently. They all get kicked out of college. They believe in ghosts. All three white scientist characters come together before a fourth New Yorker non-scientist who's also black.
They just want a job.
In.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying that like it's a racial thing. Like that's exactly
that's
how
what happened in the
just
first
like
movie.
In the old one.
Yeah.
It sets up like that. They establish their thing. Nobody believes them. The one thing that steps in is they show a little more of the government involvement in this shit now. Like, we're going to make you look like frauds, but keep doing what you're doing. We'll fund you,
instead
but
of the EPA,
don't tell nobody.
It's like the FBI. Yeah. They're aware of the ghosts or whatever.
It's Secret Service, essentially.
Yeah.
And, all that. Well, pretty much somebody's, one of the other, the bad guy of the movie, his name is Rowan. He is building these little machines that pull in and, like, capture fucking spiritual tremors. He's like a little short fat dude with curly hair that's always like, break the seal, open the portal, man the dimensions. When I become ruler of the subordinate dimension, you fools will fall beneath me. He's like that kind of...
Saturday morning cartoon villain.
Yes,
he's a Saturday Night Live villain.
Everybody thought the Ghostbusters themselves, these women, were going to be the worst part of the movie. They are... No,
they're not.
This villain is the worst. He's got the little generators around the city that bring them in, and he's solely doing this. His own motivation is just because he was bullied. Yeah, when he was younger and stuff, people thought he was weird, so people gave him shit. And you do see him in diners and stuff like that in the movie, and waitresses will talk amongst themselves behind him, and they'll be like, "No, you go serve him. He's that weird guy that's here again." You know,
he's doing
like,
exactly.
Everybody made fun of me. They will all pay.
They fucking do in the first movie.
Miserable.
Other than. The only difference is Ivo Shandor in the first movie built that whole building as the antenna. He brought about that shit 100 years after his death. Yeah. He's essentially trying to do the same thing, but just in present time by building these little machines. The building opens up a portal between worlds, unleashes ghosts. And what I was getting at with one of the cartoony...
Well, it's like a mega generator in the basement. It's not like the first movie where the architecture itself was made in an evil way so that it can use it as a conduit for spirits or anything like that. He just has this giant
little
fucking
machines
Tesla-looking thing in the basement.
He built in his meth lab.
Yeah.
He pretty much does all this shit.
Because he's like a bellboy that works at that hotel.
There's like... He manages to turn New York into like a 1920s, 30s version of New York using supernatural power at one point. Mm-hmm. There are literally fucking haunted parade balloons from the 30s.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That is where the goddamn Stay Puft the Marshmallow cameo comes in. He's a fucking big-ass parade balloon that falls on top of them.
Yeah, he's like an evil Macy's Day Parade.
No, it's a balloon. Pop it. They use the proton streams as bullwhips and shit. And they're like whipping. They'll hold on the shit and like flip around while it's tethered to a ghost.
Look, my favorite.
They got proton brass knuckles.
No. Like my favorite thing about the movie was the Holtzman character played by Kate McKinnon. But yeah, she had like these crazy video game like weapons. Like there wasn't just the proton pack. She had like like this arsenal. Like they were making a video game, and there is a video game based off this.
Yeah,
but actually they're all guys. Which is weird. They're not.
And it's
all
females. Getting wonderful reviews.
So it's not a movie game. It's just another Ghostbusters game with like a team that got the torch passed down to them.
It's
which
pretty
was
much
what the movie should have fucking been.
I
in the
agree.
First place.
They want to go the extra mile and throw all the nods into the original. Like one thing that I did like is in the college there is a golden bust of Harold Ramis as Egon Spengler in the background.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like a little nod that. That was cool. The ghosts I thought sucked. One of the first fucking jokes in the movie is a queef joke.
Yeah, literally something about like
they are listening to.
She farted.
They're listening to a fucking
back, the front.
A cassette tape. They're listening to a cassette tape of ghosts, and somebody farts on cassette tape. And
that's right.
Kirsten Wiig's like real mature guys, and Holtzman's character, Kate McKinnon, goes, "Would it be any better if I told you it come from the front?" And I'm like, "Are you fucking?" I'm like, "You just sum this whole movie up. It's Queefbusters." Like.
But anyways, about the Holtzman character and her crazy arsenal, like, you had a suspension of disbelief in the original that, the fucking Egon could get a hold of radioactive material and that he was genius enough to come up with the devices that he did. No, this girl, she gets a hold of way too much nuclear material. She makes way too many crazy, insanely powerful and destructive devices. Like, all the time in the movie, they're in this back alley testing them, and they are fucking
They're
stuff
too
up.
fucking sensitive in this movie, though. Like, you know, they never... that was one thing that it just caught me about the fact of, like, you can even use Ghostbusters 2. The old Ghostbusters did not mind breaking the fucking law to do what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's kind of like, we're apprehensive about everything.
Yeah. But he was talking about the whips or whatever. Yeah, Holtzman's walking around in the third act with the final climactic battle, and she's, you know, using her proton pack, and she's, you know, kind of barely, you know, surviving by the skin of her teeth. And she's just like, oh yeah, I forgot I had these. And don't get me wrong, she's still my favorite character, but that was kind of dumb because she's got this giant pack on her back, and she just reaches behind herself and pulls out pistols out of the bottom of this pack.
And licks one of them.
Oh yeah, and that was the thing. As much as I like this character, like, it was really weird that with all the female empowerment that she totally did like this cliched Hollywood sexual thing where she, like, not even like daintily, like, kind of hot licks like she full on like
a dog.
Yeah, licks this pistol, and then she's like, you know, dual wielding akimbo style these pistols, and they're just tether grabbing these ghosts and stuff, and she's whipping them behind her back. It's like Kratos and God of War.
They refer to fucking sexism, you know, a ton in the movie, and then the entire goddamn movie ogle after Chris Hemsworth's character. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's not fucking sexist.
Kristen Wiig
and then
was
he's
literally
like talking about
it making her
how
like,
he's like when the
movie.
bad guy like fucking possesses Chris Hemsworth, and he's like, I should work out more often and all that. And I'm like,
yeah,
you know,
so
you sit here and say somebody that doesn't even fucking like the movie is sexist, yet you put this garbage in here. Yeah. The final act, I know we're trying to hurry to sum all this up. Rowan turns into the goddamn Ghostbusters no ghost logo.
Yep.
He literally turns into a Hanna-Barbera fucking hash-ass cartoon, floats into the fucking air and grows the size of a skyscraper as the goddamn Oogie Boogie Man from Nightmare Before Christmas, and just starts tearing shit up. Slimer has a female Slimer with him. They still Ecto-1.
It is so...
Instead of crossing the streams to make full protonic reversal, they decide, since they have a nuclear bomb pretty much on the top of the Ecto-1, let Slimer drive it off into the portal, and they shoot the top of the Ecto-1, blow it up, causing this portal to suck all the ghosts in. Well, the big ghost falls and grabs Melissa McCarthy and pulls her down in the portal. Fucking Kristen Wiig ties a goddamn rope around her, jumps in the portal, and is falling through
catches up to her.
A fucking hole in slime, catches her fat ass, and then is like, I'll never leave you again, and real touching. And the ghost falls
it's like
his demise,
supposed
and
to be tearjerker
they pull
moment.
him out of the fucking hole.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck just happened?
When I was watching that movie, I was like, this is not that bad. And there was some parts that made me generally laugh. But that third act shit the bed, and everything went downhill from there.
Why the fuck didn't they just cross streams again? Like, that was one of the cool things.
I know they copied everything else from the original. Yeah.
Oh, and get this. They don't want to be tethered to the original, do their own things. There's an after-credit scene where they're listening to fucking tapes. And I knew exactly what was about to happen. I said, God damn it, out loud.
Yeah.
Because I knew it. They're listening to tapes, hearing all these ghosts talk, and the last thing Leslie Jones' character says is, she's like, guys, I hear a bunch of voice on this tape. Have y'all ever heard the name Zool? And I'm like, you've got to be fucking
That was the
kidding me.
Marvel Studio-style stinger after the credits. And while we were waiting that after the credits, we had to sit through the credits. You want to know what fucking happened the whole time? Tell them, Lyle. What happened during the credits that made us want to claw our fucking ears off?
Not only
and our eyes.
Not only during the credits, but there's a dance scene during the credits.
That's what I'm talking about.
That Chris Hemsworth leads a bunch of possessed people.
It is the world's worst cliched 90s sitcom style dance scene because he's possessed by Rowan.
And
he starts puppeting all the military and the cops and everybody to dance on the street in like the lamest white guy style, you know.
Fucking peanut and the turd icing on the shit cake is also during the montage in the movie. you are treated while all this is going on to fucking Fall Out Boy and Missy Elliott doing the goddamn Ghostbusters thing.
Oh,
no,
God.
and they didn't do the Ghostbusters thing. They destroyed
worst fucking thing easily I've ever heard.
It was all like, dun Ghostbusters, I'm not afraid.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid. Over and over again. That phrase.
You got Missy
repeated.
Elliott like, they come in my yard, they knock in on my door.
Yeah. Oh my God,
and
it
I'm
was
just
horrible.
Like, fuck my life, dude. I was so jilted. I came home
A
Friday
techno
night.
remix would have been better than that shit.
I got so goddamn drunk the other night after that movie.
We did. We came back to Lyle's place and just kind of. It was like therapy. Like we just
told
talked
me,
about it for a while. We were like,
Emerald kept asking me during the movie. She's like, "Are you okay?" She said my face looked like. She's like, "I didn't know if you were going to like cry or just kill people." And I was like, I kind of felt like a combination of both.
The way Lyle was angry at the end with Azul, and it was just like shouted "God damn it" in the theater. That's how I was when I saw that the final boss, so to speak, was the fucking logo. I made this analogy earlier before the podcast, talking with the guys. It would be like if a new Mortal Kombat game came out, and after you beat the final boss, be it Shao Kahn, Shinnok, Shang Tsung, or whatever, that like the fucking dragon logo falls off the wall.
Now you must defeat me.
Comes to life, and you have to fight the dragon, like the logo from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, like it blows my mind how lazy it was.
You just
the logo was the bad guy in the movie.
Hey, you can't say this because you're sexist if you do.
Well, fuck you.
Is the script a woman? Then I'm misogynistic. I hate the script and its vagina.
How about this? This is how I'm going to end the Ghostbusters tirade and rant. How about next time, instead of trying to hash some shit together and pretty much make a movie that isn't what you're supposed to be making, maybe before you start attacking people and worrying about the piece of shit you've made, maybe you should, be a normal person and think about what the fuck you're doing before doing it. I know money talks, and money talked you into this, but Paul Feig, dude, of everybody involved with that news Ghostbusters, you are the last fucking person that, like he's listening to this, he's the last person that needed to be involved.
Who knows?
With
this might go viral since we're hating on the movie,
and
we'll get put on some news site as being a sexist podcast, a bunch of old nerds raging about a lost childhood classic.
Bring it, you fucking cunts! How about that? Bring it. That's all for our topic. I know we're on a.
Why didn't they? I'm sorry. One last point I got to make, and it is real quick.
Go for it.
That they had no excuse for it to mess this up because they've had 30 years since the very first
89.
one. Because it's been 30 years since like the not even the first, but the last
89 was
Mel Gibson's sequel to Mad Max, and then Fury Road comes along, and it's fucking perfect. Yeah. And if Fury Road can be good after all the odds it had against it, like George Miller doing kid movies and bad kid movies, and all the development hell it went through, like it was going to be a sequel that was animated originally and stuff. Yeah. Everything that was against it, shutting up the main character for most of the movie and letting the Furiosa character, a woman. So we're not sexist because she was awesome. She took control of the whole movie.
Like I said a few episodes ago, Ellen Ripley. Like, right? There are plenty of strong female leads. Fucking Kate Libby from Hackers, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
She's a bad bitch in that movie.
Arguably, I know a lot of people like the Resident Evil movies. I'm not a fan of them, but there's a badass woman right there, Mila Jovovich as Alice. There's Kate, what's her face's name in Underworld and stuff like that. If you're a fan of those movies,
I didn't care for her in that movie, but Fifth Element.
Yeah, Fifth Element. She was
Leela,
great.
right?
Yeah,
Lilu. Yeah,
Multipass.
Yeah, she was a badass. She was a living weapon.
Yeah.
So get off my dick about misogyny and stuff like that.
Oh man, the same people that are calling everybody sexist have already attacked that new Power Rangers picture and talking. And I'm just like, dude,
why? There's two women in there that are badasses.
It's fucking people that just have nothing better to do than aspirate on their computer all day.
Well, there's some people that just always have to be outraged.
Yeah,
and offended.
You can't fucking please everybody.
Look, if Mad Max could pull it off, have a proper sequel after 30 years.
Mad Max was 10 out of 10. Easy.
It's a modern action masterpiece that hasn't been seen since the 90s.
It's like worth the view alone in that. I love the music in that movie.
Junkie
how it
XL
swells from the fucking orchestral to like the metal,
and then
like the grungy metal back to the fucking orchestra. And
Junkie XL went on to do the soundtrack for Deadpool too, and that was also awesome.
And the way in Mad Max, the way they. People complain, oh, there's no story in it. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot of story into it. They just didn't spoon feed it to you.
Right.
There's a lot of subtext.
Subtext. Thank you.
The context, the subtext.
Well,
it's all there.
And movies like that are big spectacles, a lot of time the silence of the scene makes everything.
Yeah, everything's implied in their body language and their facial expressions.
And
stuff,
I'm not a Game of Thrones fan, but I'll say it's good because my wife will watch it, and I'll come in and I'm like, oh, this must have happened. She's like, how do you know you haven't watched it? Because it's written well. When something's written well, you can figure out what the hell's going on without it being said.
Mm-hmm.
So, no excuse for Ghostbusters. They had all the time to get their ducks in a row and make a proper script, and they shit the bed.
Ghostbusters is fucking busted.
It's a dumpster fire.
So, I've seen dumpster fires that were better.
It's a dumpster baby in a dumpster fire.
It's a dumpster baby that set its own dumpster on fire.
It's a cluster cook.
The only things I can say about the movie that are good is, it's promotional material was able to bring back Ecto Cooler for High C.
That is the only thing.
Ghostbusters Pinball.
Ghostbusters Pinball. I liked Kate McKinnon's character. I liked Chris Hemsworth's character, not how he was treated by everybody else, but I thought he was a hilarious dumbass. My God, it's pretty funny. There's one time where he's looking at this fish tank, and he goes to touch it, and he kind of rams his hand into it and hurts his hand. He's like, ow. And I'm like, you fucked hard. And then he loses the phone in the fish tank.
He's the phone. I can't. It's in the fish tank. The other phone on the desk.
And he's like, oh, yeah. Just little subtle things. That's like the minor humor we were able to farm out of the film to make it tolerable for a pain threshold.
Stewart, the guy that plays Stewart in Mad TV, his scream was probably my favorite part.
Michael
of the
McDonald,
movie. He was funny.
Yes. Yeah. Other than that, it's terrible. Ozzy Osbourne cameo was pretty enjoyable. Yeah. Yeah, that happened.
I've heard you got a true tale from Alabama.
Uh-oh.
Well,
it's really quiet. There he goes.
On this week's True Tale from Alabama, I'm going to tell you the tale of what I witnessed as a young grocery stocker in my infant days of college. When I first started college, I worked at a grocery store in a little town called Hanceville. Brandon used to live there. It's about 15 miles outside of Coleman, I guess.
Yeah.
10, 15 miles.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anywho, I was going to the community college down there, and I nabbed a job at the grocery store across the street from the college.
WDG?
Well, WDG.
Right on.
The wet, disgusting gooch.
Yep. Met a bunch of friends there. Met a bunch of former bandmates and shit there. We had a band called Aisle 13 out of that grocery store because of some interesting people that would come in there. We nicknamed Aisle 13. They stank real bad. We'd always say, you can stand on aisle 1 and smell the motherfuckers on aisle 13. Anywho, Hanceville's kind of like South Park. And Vermont is also where I live now, is also kind of like South Park because this tale has followed me. I've come to recently discover. Anywho, in Hanceville, there was a bunch of people that would walk around, and by bunch, there's 3 I can think of. We had one guy named Blue John who was an old crazy drunk that would just sit in Hardee's and talk to himself, drinks coffee. There was another crazy drunk named Cookie who drank cooking sherry and fall in ditches walking down 31.
Oh, my God.
And then finally, we had this guy who everybody called the Bicycle Man. Well, the Bicycle Man is alive and well, and he does live in Vermont where I live now. This guy, and I feel bad talking about it because I'm pretty sure the guy's not all there.
Right.
But when I was in Hanceville, you would look down on 31 and see traffic slow down. This motherfucker would be out in the middle of the road looking like you know, in Willy Wonka, the scene where the guy's got the little tinker cart, Charlie standing outside, he's like, nobody ever goes in, nobody ever comes out. Pulls his fucking tinker cart off. Well, his bicycle looked like a tinker cart. He'd have a mountain bike, and he would have like bamboo poles or PVC poles attached to the back of this bicycle, and would have like 4 other bicycles attached to these poles on back. And these bicycles were supporting like a cage that had been makeshifted, built around them. He had all kinds of rusted metal, hammers, just random garbage. Fixated this.
Is that street legal?
Totally not. 2 of those huge ass, like, almost like antennas you see on rednecks trucks, the big ones. Yeah. But he had like the little bitty orange triangle caution flags at the top sticking up, you know. This guy would be like just wheeling all over Hanceville. Well, for a little while, there was another bicycle man in Hanceville.
Oh, Christ.
And I've seen a couple times these guys ride by each other and just start scoffing at each other, pretty much like, yo, bastard, back you on your bicycle, yo, old bastard. Yeah, they would like yell back and forth. It's like these
hobo wars.
These 2 bicycle men were like rival factions,
like Ash and Gary Oak,
fighting over fucking turf on who rides their bicycle where, you know, like rival gang style. Well, anyways, working at that grocery store, that bicycle man, he'd come up to the Coke machines and always stick his fingers in the coin drops to see if anybody forgot their change. And we're at WDG up front, there's like the office desk where you can buy cigarettes and all that shit, you know, it's like gated in. Well, I'm up there talking to my friend one day, and this bicycle man, he comes stumbling in there, and he comes up and looks at me and my friend talking, and he literally just does this thing where he looks back and forth at us.
Like a tennis match?
Like back and forth? Not saying a word. And finally my friend's like, hey, can I help you? He's like, I brought you a gift in here today. And he just like reaches in this fucking...
To paraphrase Wayne's World, if it's a severed head, I'm going to be very upset.
He fucking pulls out of this bag he's carrying a rusted pizza pan that literally has like 3 holes the size of my fist, like rusted throughout it. He looks at my friend in the face and goes, I brought you this here pizza pan. My friend goes, what? I appreciate it, but what am I supposed to do with this? And he goes, what do you mean, what are you supposed to do with this? You know, gets that kind of look of doubt in his face, and he's like, man, it's got holes rusted in it. You know, what am I supposed to do with it? It's rusted. It's no good. And he just goes, and just pulls that fucking pizza pan off the thing, sticks it back in his bag, and with a dead serious face, looks me and my friend in the face and goes, my friend's name is Kyle, by the way, and he looks at Kyle and goes, I'm going to have to ask you where your commode is. I just messed myself.
No. Holy freaking God.
We're just like, oh, shit. So my friend Kyle's like, oh, it's straight back there. Dude, this guy goes in the bathroom. I'm talking like has a shit orgy in the bathroom stall.
What the fuck?
He like smears shit all over the walls. There's shit all over the toilet and the floor.
No.
So we took a guy that we really didn't like and made him go clean it up.
Nice.
Anyways, that was like 10 years ago. I've been living back in Vermont now, my hometown, for like fucking 5-6 months now. And I have a little store by my house by the school. I went to a couple months back to get a biscuit. The same fucking bicycle man comes riding up to school. And he comes in there, and I'm like paying. And he's just sitting there looking at me. He's like, you want to hear a fucking joke? I was like, sure. And he's like, you know, Frog, what?
Can keep a straight face.
He's like, you want to hear a joke? He's like, Frog have wings and whoop Bubba's ass every time I jump. Ha!
What?
I'm just like, yeah, that's funny. He's like, you don't hear enough funny joke. He starts telling me something. I like I said, I'm not making fun of the guys. He's not all there, I don't think. But I couldn't understand really what he was saying. I was just trying to be nice and like, yeah, that's funny. That's funny. And I walked outside to get in my car, and he's like standing out there. He's like, yeah, and I heard him talk to himself. And I heard him go, yeah, I'm gonna get on them bicycles now. And he gets on the bicycles and rides off, and I'm literally going to back out, and a fucking county cop pulls up next to me. I'm backing out, and I got my window down, and the cop's sitting there looking at him, shaking his head. And I was like, yeah, he used to be down around Hanceville, I think. That cop's like, that son of a bitch has been causing us problems all over this county for years. He's like, he won't stay out of the fucking road. And like, dude, you'll literally see him at the intersection of 31 and 157, which in Coleman, That's one of the bigger intersections we have.
Yeah.
He will be shutting fucking traffic down, crossing with his, like, a caravan of bicycles, like, on their pilgrimage.
It's like the Megazord of bikes.
It is. It is. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a red bicycle, a yellow bicycle, a black bicycle, a blue bicycle, and I'm pretty sure there's a pink one.
Did he have flags on them at one point?
Yeah, they still do have flags. It's literally like PVC pipes, like, run lengthwise, like through the handlebars, tethered to one's, like, you know how you see in cannibal movies, they tote somebody on the two poles, their hands are like tied up.
Yeah.
It's literally like that, but it's got bicycles tethered to it, and they're all like got one pole like a trailer hitch would be tethered to one bicycle. They just, and dude, he seriously does not fucking go faster than like 5 miles an hour.
Oh my god!
I kind of want to like find him and then just hop on one of those bikes and see what he does.
$100 says you could come to my house Saturday or Sunday morning. We could go find him. I see him every fucking. He's hard to miss.
When we get our YouTube channel up,
he always wears.
We gotta film him.
Always wears a bicycle helmet and a fucking safety vest, and he has glasses and wears gloves.
Let's go hop on one of his bikes and just be like, "Hey, I gave you $5 for a ride."
No, fuck that. You know what I want to do?
We should.
I want to build an even bigger, like, horrible, mangled mech bicycle Voltron type thing, and just, like, outdo his, and then ride up next to him and be like, "You want to race?" You know,
he might just like produce a knife and go all like gaggly little man Charles Manson, like, I just fucking chase your ass away.
We could be fighting down the street, hopping back and forth on our rides, like taking, you know, hits at each other, like the final climax of Road Warrior or something.
Somebody just pulls out a goddamn Moog synthesizer and starts bam, bam, bam. Rival turf.
You got to joust on the super bikes.
But
fuck that! I'm gonna get one of my old bandmates to have a flamethrower guitar and have him suspended in his pajamas, hanging off my shopping carts and shit.
Nice. That's a literal 100% true story though from Alabama.
Wow.
Next week, me and Brandon's going to tell you about that time that Jesus visited Alabama.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh, you talk about that guy who used to walk around barefoot and everything, dressed like Jesus.
Jesus.
Have you seen the documentary about him? It's literally called The Jesus Guy.
Is it The Passion of the Christ?
Passion of the Christ.
I
maybe
thought it was him.
Oh, speaking of which, I don't. You know, we talk about movies sometimes in the podcast. Y'all heard that they're making a fucking sequel to Passion of the Christ, right?
I did.
And Mel Gibson is directing.
I did.
What the fuck is the sequel? Like the Rapture?
Resurrection,
the
I
Rapture?
guess.
Like the second coming of Christ?
What's going to be bad is all these stupid ass Christians are going to go spend millions and millions of dollars to watch a 2.5 hour movie for a rock to move.
Of him coming out of the tomb?
No, it needs to be like Jesus 2, The Reckoning.
No, it don't.
I died for your sins. Now it's your turn.
I've always imagined like you go to watch a theater or go to the theater, watch a movie, and you see the trailer. It's like Quentin Tarantino's The Bible.
Yeah.
Jesus is back, and he's got a new plan for salvation, death to non-believers. Just fucking greasing all these Nazis in a room.
Or it's just like, you know, Ronald Lump resurrects Reagan, and he's just like, the power of Christ compels me.
I saw one of the best web comics. I wish I could think of it verbatim offhand, but it shows Jesus at the first frame. He's talking about how mankind turned their back on him and stuff. And
the wrestler?
Yes, and the rest of mankind. And it might have been his people. Yeah, it's his people turned his back on him, and he's come back, and it's time for revenge. And while he's having this monologue in these frames, he's like shaving and cutting his hair and stuff. And like in the last frame, he's like shaved his toothbrush mustache. It turns out that he's Hitler.
Oh,
that's fucking great.
Well, I guess it's time for
Question of the week. Did we get any answers at all? Like, Ricky answered one, but it wasn't really an answer.
I'm looking.
It's been hard getting anything on
Ricky
Facebook
has
this
a drinking problem.
Lynn said a few things, and Mike said something.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Must have been on your show, not mine.
No, they said something on the DLC Berserk thing you posted.
Yeah, I want to talk about that real quick. Talking about things kind of fucking with series like Ghostbusters. I know you've seen some Berserk live. Have you seen any Berserk or read it? Any?
You're talking about the manga?
Yeah.
I watched the original anime, not the new one that came out.
So
but,
I'm sorry.
I watched every episode. That was, my God, that was badass.
We did not have any answer.
Yeah.
Wow. No answers.
That's the wrong picture, Law.
It is, isn't it? Well, never mind.
Anyways, yeah, in Berserk, like at the end of the anime, and fairly early on in the manga, and the original anime is what I'm talking about, and the movies, the end of the movies too. One of the main characters, Casca, she goes through a really super violent rape scene, and the character Guts, that's her lover, and she gets like raped right in front of him. He cuts his own arm off trying to save her. He loses an eye. It's just horrific. After that, you don't see this in the original anime. Now, I think you see part of it in the movie. I'm not sure. She loses her fucking mind because she was just raped by a fucking, basically a god demon. And so the scene where Guts finally like comes into contact with Casca again, realizes, hey, she's alive. She's under a waterfall taking a bath, and she's just got like one big shirt on, and it's sticking to her. But she's been raped into like a childlike state of mind. Is nothing about this scene is sexy at all. One of the new Berserk game, one of the pre-order.
You're going back to Gummo style here now. Like, you guys want to bang my sister with Down syndrome for $10?
Yeah. Well,
that's terrible.
The new Berserk game, one of the pre-order bonuses is you get a digital code for Casca in this outfit, like selling it as like sexy time Casca. Like you get to play as Casca, mowing down hundreds of enemies because this is a Dynasty Warrior style game.
Yeah.
Mad because she's been raped.
In the outfit she wore after she'd been raped into a childlike state of mind.
Fuck me, that's classy.
That is so fucked. Like you could tell the people who made the game just looked through and like, oh, that looks good. No fucking context at all with it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think they read or watched the series or anything.
Yeah, they put zero effort into that. I hope that.
That's clearly a studio executive decision,
Yeah. We're going to have something sexy, so how about that?
It kind of makes your skin crawl a little bit. It's
Yep.
We didn't have any answers, but we had Ricky's response.
Yeah. He didn't really describe a Pokemon for us. He just talked about making your own. Our question of the week from last week is if you could design your own Pokemon, what would it be? And Facebook's put a pretty hard cuckolding on us this week.
Do you want to give this question like one more week?
We can.
I mean, considering we hadn't had
way to go, guys.
Any answers?
Yeah, and way to go, Facebook. Facebook really fucked us.
Thanks, Facebook. Jipped me out of my question.
Yeah,
guys are dicks.
Sometimes like Facebook will not get your shit out there unless you give them money.
I do love your comment on Ricky's thing, though. Fun fact, no less than 3 Nintendo executives committed seppuku after listening to my criticism of Pokemon Go. I love that. Well, if we're going to get in our week, can we go ahead and answer what ours should be, though?
Yeah.
I said mine earlier. I want to see a Pokeball Pokemon. I want to see the complete lack of creativity on somebody's behalf. More so than the toaster or the shoe.
My Pokemon is going to be Trumpet, and it will be Donald Trump as a trumpet. And his special attacks will be he can build a wall, and but it takes Pokemoney from the opposing player. Kangaskhan, though, can take down this wall.
And you not the Silk Road.
He can also make Pokemon great again. I don't know what else. He has big hands.
I think for me the Pokemon I'd like to see is the originals had Missing No. So in light of the recent Pokemon games, I would like to see the servers are down screen for Pokemon Go as a Pokemon.
There's servers are down Pokemon.
Yeah. It's just that shot of like a bunch of random Pokemon and with a blue sky and a green grass, but it's just like in a rectangle, like all cell phone screens, and it's got arms and legs. Like any anthropomorphized like shitty cartoon from the 90s, like the California Raisins or something.
Oh,
it's a raisin. Let's just slap some arms and legs on it.
Marketing genius. Some little bastards made us $1 million.
Yeah, let's just.
I think they made more money off them little fuckers than the raisins themselves.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
More people like them than actually eating raisins.
So, I'd like to see that anthropomorphized. Just the fucking servers are down screen.
Well, you hear it there. You got one more week to give us some answers for, if you could design your own Pokemon, what would it be?
Yep.
You could call us at our phone number, 682-777-GOOD.
Side note, when that metal song first starts out, it reminds everybody about the terrible things that will happen if you don't call.
Yeah.
The first time he says that phone number, he messes up the phone number. Did you guys ever catch that? He's instead of saying 777 good, he just says it twice.
We thought that at first, but
He says
777.
He says 777.
Does he?
Yep.
Yes.
Sounds like he says 77 good.
Let's play both of them and confirm.
It's
777.
Man's really quiet.
See?
He says triple.
Pretty sure it's triple.
Is it?
Yeah, I asked him, he sent it back, that's what I thought initially. I was like, are you saying 77?
He says it right that time,
At the
though.
very beginning, though, he says triple.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you just said 7 twice.
Yeah, you got to give us a call or bad things will happen. Also got to edit out that space.
For those of you who haven't called the show,
A warning.
if you do not call, you will awaken Satan, and infants shall fall from the sky. Bears will feast on the slow and the witless. Vaginas will turn to stone.
That never gets old, no.
Serpents rise from the ground. Fly into your sphincter and bite. Demons will travel back in time and rape your father. Hell, Satan! You've been warned.
Our vagina's been saved this week, so we do got a call from somebody.
Eat a dick, Lyle.
Wow.
That's it?
That's it.
Can I hear that again?
Eat a dick, Lyle.
Who's that?
Wonder who that is.
I don't know.
Somebody that knows I like using the phrase eat a dick.
It's Paul Feg.
I hope so. Oh, you bowl your ass in a ring. Come on, Paul.
Right on.
Maybe he knows you like eating dicks.
He knows my secret. My secret is out. It's on the webs. I'm ruined forever. Play it one more time.
Eat a dick, Lyle.
Man, I know that voice, but I just... Leave me a copy of that here so I could do my own forensic research. I'm pretty sure. One more time.
Eat a dick, Lyle.
Sounds like Jackson, kind of.
I don't know.
Jackson Brown?
Jackson Carr.
Jackson Carr.
I don't know.
He
Whatever. You've stumped me. You win.
also sent this.
Shut your cunt. No vaginas will turn into stone this week.
Play it one more time. The ladder.
Shut your cunt. No vaginas will turn into stone this week.
Shut your cunt.
Well, at least we have vaginas that can turn to stone. You handy-fisted fuck. Has he got anything else to say?
That's it.
Damn. Well, thanks for the call.
Yeah.
If I wish I knew who you were, we might give you a game for that. I wouldn't mind it, but you're anonymous, so you fucking lose.
Since Facebook fucked me out of the guest question of the week, next week, stay tuned. This is a listeners thing only, so, this is for all the fuckers that think they could just hit the Facebook page and get a free game and not listen.
Yeah.
So,
You shall eat a dick.
if you're listening to this episode, next week, I'll be giving away another indie box. And it's another, big-ass collector's edition because that's all they make for Moon Hunters. This time, unlike the last time I gave away indie boxes, I don't know what the fuck the game's about, and I probably won't research it in the time of this, a whole week until the next podcast. So, do your own damn research. I'm the one who's giving away the free game that I paid for. So, Moon Hunters. Yeah, that's going to be the prize for the next question.
You hunt moons.
That's my guess.
That's no moon.
Yeah.
That's a space station. Had to.
And I have a good question for next week. I don't know if I should share it right now or wait till next week.
Share it with us off air.
Off air.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
That way
post
nothing
it.
gets confusing.
We'll post it
let's
next
So
week.
the question
Same
next week
question.
is if you could design your own Pokemon, what would it be?
Yeah.
I want to hear about your penis chews, your cuckle ducks, all that shit.
Cuckold duck.
I love that.
Psycuck.
Yeah,
He uses his mind to fuck your wife. Psychuck. I just imagine, I want to see like a Queef Ghostbuster Pokemon. It's just like a Ghastly and the Ghostbusters thing, but instead of being a Ghastly, you know, it's just a pussy fart. I imagine they emit black clouds every now and then. So
they do. They're called children. They're
nice.
a black cloud on your life.
Nice. Well, that about brings us to the end of this week's Good Old Gamers podcast. You can check us out on Facebook, Good Old Gamers Podcast, on our website, goodoldgamers.com. We're on Stitcher. We're on Twitter. Google.
Your wife? Because we're cuckolding.
We're on your wife. We're on it all.
You.
We will be YouTubing soon. I got 2 cameras here. It's too late to fuck with it tonight.
Oh.
But we got cameras. We're going to be doing the YouTubes and the Twitching.
You finally get to see what we look like.
We'll be
We're sorry.
Don't put on your 3D glasses.
No.
Don't.
We're just the producers of the ones you call to fuck your wife. We're not the actual fuckers of your wife.
Yeah.
Fuck, I am. Come and get me, motherfuckers.
She would probably lose her mind, not in the good way. Not in the I'm wet and crazy way, but I'm going straight to a home after looking at your face.
It's hard enough for me to deal with one, much less more. So
No shit. Well, check us out. Listen, like, share, all that bullshit. Follow.
Can anyone follow you anywhere?
Yeah. You want to plug yourself again?
Oh, myself? Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MaxForce357, and you can hit me up on the Wii U, Xbox 360, and PS4 and Steam. Same thing, MaxForce357.
Nice. Look it up. Keep us all in mind.
Play Doom with me. I love Doom.
Oh, speaking of, I just want to throw this out there. I seen one of the funniest things today. It was the dude from Parks and Rec. I can't think of his name. Ron.
Oh, Ron Swanson.
It's Ron Swanson just holding
name.
like a fucking chair leg, and somebody took the Doom logo and flipped it upside down. And it said wood. Dude, I laughed so
That's
fucking
cool.
hard when I seen that.
That's
I was
real
like,
cool.
That's amazing.
It gives me wood.
But check us out. We'll be back at you next week. Maybe we'll be in a little bit better of a mood, but I doubt it.
We won't.
Until then, game over, man.
Game over.
Game over.
Eat a dick, love.